I'm Staff Sergeant Allie Rose. As we mentioned, Secretary Gates was scheduled to be briefed by General David Petraeus, commander of U.S. and NATO forces in Afghanistan. The general briefed reporters Tuesday on current operations.
Targeted, intelligence-driven operations, which continue to have exhibit a very high operational tempo, again, several times what we were ever able to achieve. In Iraq, very low incidence of civilian casualties, very, very low, less than a fraction of 1%.
While there's been a slight increase in direct fire injuries among U.S. troops in Afghanistan, most casualties can still be attributed to the improvised explosive device. The Joint IED Defeat Organization, or JIDO, says the rate of incidents stands at 1,300 to 1,400 per month. About 15% of IED attacks wound or kill coalition personnel. JIDO's director, Lieutenant General Michael Oates, says IEDs in Afghanistan are mostly homemade and difficult to detect.
Our mission is to secure the population and train the Afghan security force. The IED is a condition of our workplace, but it's a difficult one. And when you lose soldiers, injured or killed to that device, it does renew your sense of energy to try and find a solution to that. But it is a very vexing problem.
Lieutenant General Oates says the most effective counter-IED measure is the trained human eye, with the help of man's best friend, a bomb-sniffing dog. Today marks a grim milestone for the U.S. military. 69 years ago today, Japanese warplanes attacked the U.S. Pacific Fleet located at Pearl Harbor. Within 2 hours of the unrelenting attack, the Japanese planes hit, sunk, or severely damaged 8 U.S. battleships, including the Arizona and 14 smaller ships. 200 aircraft were destroyed and over 2,000 seamen were killed, while Tokyo's forces escaped virtually unharmed.
An assessment of coalition strategy in Afghanistan by the President's National Security Team will be released soon. Marine Regimental Combat Team 7 recently returned after a year's deployment in Afghanistan. RCT 7's commander saw the difference his Marines made. Army Staff Sergeant E.L. Craig has their story.
Marine Regimental Combat Team 7, or RCT 7, is back in Twentynine Palms, California for Christmas, after spending a year in the embattled Helmand province in southern Afghanistan. Colonel Randy Newman says he learned volumes in Afghanistan about the people, about counterinsurgency, and about the Marines he commanded.
Wherever 8 to 10 Marines go, the Afghans are going to have a bubble of security that allows them to kind of determine where their future goes. We just provide that bubble of security and let them take it from there. And so I think it's a partnership with the Afghan people that forms out of being there with them on the ground, in their village, living there with them.
It's one of the principles of counterinsurgency that partnership takes time to cultivate, to gradually break reliance on old fears, on old social structures. RCT 7 arrived in October 2009.
Before we can see great steps forward, we've got to first take the opportunity to earn their trust, and we earn it by being present and showing our intentions, which I think are good and in their interest.
Colonel Newman notes those small groups of Marines out among the people see and feel subtle changes no one else can really appreciate.
They recognize that they go into a place where there was, before they got there, a guy who told these people how to live, treated them brutally, and gave them very little freedom. They come there, that man leaves, and then the Afghan people get to determine kind of what they want their future to be for their kids, for themselves, for really everyone. And I think that's why the Marines enjoy going back, is they can see success very clearly, the fact that they make a difference in an effort that's much greater than themselves.
Afghanistan has endured 30 years of war and violence. The Marines have reduced the power and reach of insurgents in Helmand River province, but they have neither given up nor gone away.
So you'll find it cycle through small arms fire engagements. Once they've had enough of how that ends for them, they'll then prioritize the IEDs and every now and then come back to small arms fire engagements again. And then they also go through the cycle of threatening the people.
Colonel Newman says part of the mission is to convince at least some insurgents to join the political process, to drop the violence and try to earn their place through argument and persuasion. He says it can be done.
I would have wondered as I went in, could it be done or not, and I'm now convinced that it absolutely can be, having watched the Marines do it on a regular basis for a year.
He judges it'll take about 2 years for the Marine presence to really calm the situation in Helmand. For other parts of the province, that'll be next summer. For the Marja area, a long Taliban base, that'll be early 2012. Reporting from the Pentagon, I'm Staff Sergeant E.L. Craig.
And coming up ahead on Around the Services, scenes from a happy homecoming for one group of Marines in Okinawa. But first, we're heading downrange where one commander in Iraq has found a better way to help his soldiers find their way around foreign ground.